have a friend or you have to deal with relationships, you cannot base everything on an outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, how we talked about how the end goal A is elusive, B is somewhere where we aren't, and so where you are right now is never going to be good enough. You're never going to be okay with it because you can't enjoy the journey. You can't be happy, and it's so ridiculous because you're here for such a short time, and you're not allowed to be happy with where you are. That's again, it's very surprising that we're so okay with that. And as you said, outcomes, it's also why we kind of define our self-worth within the constraints of labor productivity. And I am how much I make, and I am how much I do,
or I am depending on how much things I have on my CV, or
yeah, absolutely,
how many people I know.
I am the bullet points on my resume, on my CV. We don't have that concept of I am full stop. It's just not acceptable anymore, and I would like that to change. I want men, women, children, everybody to just stand up and say I am, and you cannot exploit me anymore.
We spoke about Brené Brown and how she studied courage and vulnerability and empathy, but she also said that the most difficult emotion for a human to process or deal with is joy. Not because we don't know what joy is or we don't like joy, but it's because joy has been defined in a very specific way in history and throughout many years, and now, and even our grandparents or even the generation before that knew that this is not what joy is, and joy is something fundamentally different. But this dissonance between I know joy is something else and joy is defined to be something else creates a lot of anxiety. And she actually gave an example. So we're not parents, but imagine you have a kid in the other room and the kid is sleeping, and you look at the kid and you realize, oh my god, I value this kid so much. The next thought that comes to your head is probably the kid dying, or the kid in an accident, or something bad happening, because you can't process that moment of joy, because you realize, okay, what if this is the only thing that I wanted? What if this is what joy is for me? What if everything that I do doesn't give me joy?
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm not a scholar, I'm not an academic, so I'm just kind of hypothesizing here without any backing. But I do believe that the difficulty that we have with joy is because we feel like we don't deserve it, and we never feel like we're there yet. We never feel like this is a state that I can be in. This is a state that I deserve, that I am okay with. And it's like, again, the big bad system, call it what you want to call it. It feeds off of your issues with your mental health. That's its nourishment, that's its replenishment. And once that's not there, it can't exploit it to keep you caged and keep you in that sort of, in its clutch. So joy is, and happiness and fulfillment are things that are very dangerous to the system. And I think it's also, I'm drawing a parallel here, but when you consider female self-acceptance, women's self-acceptance, and how brands, say makeup brands, they don't just capitalize on our insecurities. They create our insecurities and then they capitalize on them. I didn't think my elbows were problematic until an advertisement told me they shouldn't be darker than the rest of my body. So again, it's that self-acceptance, that kind of rebellion that is eventually going to make a Fair and Lovely die out. You know what I mean? And
that's what's scary for them.
That's what's scary for them. And I think you and I are very lucky to be part of a generation that is so change-oriented and social justice-oriented. And if it's a trend, if it's the new in thing, then I'm happy with that. it's better than low-rise jeans being the new trend, you know. And
they don't even fit. Like
they
why
don't
want
even
us to
fit.
wear it?
Yeah. And yeah, so I think this sort of vulnerability and this softness and this kindness and this caring for our children and caring for their learning and their education and caring for people's dignity and health in terms of their careers is I mean, the rebellion that we're looking for, is the change that we're looking for. And it's such a difficult concept to grasp, because how does softness and kindness beat the big bad thing?
I think what you said, softness, kindness, empathy, like I was told told that all of these are soft skills that will help me land a job. The plus point,
or
apart
weak
from
gendered traits,
basic CV. And I think even if we are able to like push our kids to think about what empowers them, I think they'll be able to manage themselves, because what I've realized is kids are way more efficient, way more powerful, and way more articulate and intelligent than we've projected them to be.
Absolutely.
They are vulnerable, definitely, because they don't have enough experience, not because they don't know. And if we let our kids figure out things for themselves without spoon feeding them, and pushing them in the right direction, but with love, empathy, and kindness, and with the right intent, they'll be able to solve their own problems.
Absolutely. And I want like anybody to like open like an academic journal if you're so into facts and sources, and see for yourself that punishment and all of this over like discipline,
capital punishment,
it's not working. It's not working. It does not work. It's making the children feel worse. It's just not working. And if one thing's not working, you need to look at the alternative. You
can't just like put a band-aid on it by saying, okay, it'll fix itself.
And you certainly can't put a band-aid on the education system.
Because these kids will be the next generation or the generation after that. Or
absolutely. And I'm not talking about employing...
and they're dealing with our messes. So
I'm not talking about employing one extra guidance counselor in every school. Like that, the system's still the system. I'm talking about, wrecking it from the ground up and creating something more conducive to children's overall like holistic development and nurturing. And call me wild and crazy for believing that this needs to be done and over with, but I strongly believe that it's not helping anybody.
Not our kids, not us, definitely not their parents, because I think parents are very clear, and they realize that what the kid is going through, and at many points even parents are helpless because they don't know what to do next, or they don't know how to help the child. And that's what's scary about most of things.
All of this is scary. Change is scary, but I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for a generation of parents that understand these tenets of empathy and respecting your kids.
I think parents, even teachers for that matter, should allow their kids to feel what they are feeling. And give them time to process that, because if they are able to process that, they're not going to have like problems that we do at this stage, where you're not able to process our emotions because we don't know how. If they know how, and it'll be easier for them.
Children weren't born to be disciplined and pushed around and made to stand in lines and given kind of...
reminds me of the song, We Don't Need No Education.
They weren't made to feel horrible about themselves because in 5th grade they couldn't complete a homework assignment and feel like they have no worth or value. And all of these little things, like we needed this standardization to put the system into place at one point, but now it's just hurting us. And enough is enough.
As a child, what would have you liked to see?
That's a really good question. As a child, I would like to actually study what I want to study. And I still think that our idea of, oh, your merit is XYZ, so you get a better quality of education than someone else will get. Like that's a failing system. You can't put kids that need special attention in classrooms with, incompetent teachers and with incompetent staff. Like we're going backwards here. This is the exact opposite of what we need. But we're so obsessed with this idea of success and merit that we forget, as I said, that people are varied and people not only have different aptitudes and skill sets, but also have different timelines and trajectories. You might bloom at a different time than someone else.
I think what I needed as a kid, the most important thing that I needed was some time to process.
Yeah.
And even then I wanted my teachers to ask me why I felt the way I felt, because asking a simple why to a kid would allow you an opportunity to understand the kid.
Yeah.
And hence provide you with an opportunity to help the kid, which is something that I'm assuming teachers want to do.
Yeah, but we don't do that because we don't want our kids to turn into individuals in their own right. It's something that we protect ourselves from, that, they're gonna grow like wild and unabashedly. But that's the point. That's what I would like to see. That's how children grow and learn and actualize their potentials. Lots of hopes for the next generation, because when I'm just 20 now, but when I was, say, 18, 19 years old, and I was engaging
That's a year.
No, okay, 18, like 17, 18. I think 17, 18. When I was, in fact, 16, 17, 18, I was, engaging in whatever sort of activism a 16, 17, 18 year-old child, student can engage in, and I was doing these things because they mattered to me, and everyone was like, wow, you're so young. And now I look at these 13, 14-year-olds and they're doing that sort of thing, and they're becoming more conscious, and they're taking responsibility for, changing things and changing the order of things, and it's absolutely wonderful to see. And I am obsessed with with finding out, with thinking about what the future holds for us, what the future of the kids and the youth holds for us. I love kids because they're going to change the world.
Hey, this is Isha again. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and stay tuned for more. Thank you.